The MacBook Air is an incredible laptop that performs as well as all but the very top-end x86 instruction set-based laptops, and it does it without having a cooling fan. It's able to be fanless because it sips power. It also has the feature of having the same performance whether it's connected to mains power or running on a battery. In spite of this amazing level of performance, the M1 in the Air is actually limited because of the thermal performance of the enclosure. And we know this because testing against the M1 MacBook Pro, which does have a fan, shows the Pro is having better performance, specifically over sustained workloads. Someone discovered that the M1 MacBook Air can be improved to be better than the Pro if you install thermal pads that transfer heat from the heatsink to the bottom half of the aluminium shell. This is the downside of possibly voiding warranty, and that the underside of the laptop can get hot, up to 61 degrees C after long sustained computing loads, which is not a problem if you're using it on a desk, but it would be an issue if you were using it on your lap. I wanted to find out, instead of modifying the insides of my MacBook Air with thermal pads, if I could instead use a simple freezer brick to cool my laptop on those relatively rare occasions that I wanted more computing power. And the short answer is yes, you can. It's easy, cheap, and safe. The secret trick is to know when adding a freezer brick will actually make a difference, because most of the time it makes no difference at all. Here's an example of when it'll have no effect. I use DaVinci Resolve to edit videos, and the rendering process is one of the most time-consuming things that I do on my Mac. So I set up a benchmark video where I resize a static photo image and render it out to a 30-minute 1080p video file. And my testing with and without the ice brick shows that render times are basically unaffected. I ran the test 6 times, 3 with and 3 without the ice brick, and the difference was only 1/10%. That's 1 or 2 seconds over about a 10-minute period. Total power draw from the laptop was pretty consistent between 20.5 and 21.5 watts throughout these tests. If you run Activity Monitor during the test, you can see that this is a pretty GPU-bound activity and has relatively low CPU activity. So my next thought was that maybe high CPU loads would be improved by ice brick cooling. To create a high CPU load benchmark, I installed the Intel version of Handbrake and re-rendered the output from the Resolve benchmark into an MP4 file. Now this test runs for about 10 minutes, and Activity Monitor shows it maxes out the performance cores and nearly maxes out the efficiency cores. I ran the test 6 times again, 3 with and 3 without the ice brick. So these are the times for no ice brick. You can see that after the first run, the time blows out as the chassis absorbed all of the heat it can, and so it slows down the CPU clock speeds, and then eventually removes load from some of the performance cores to reduce the heat output of the CPU. Interestingly, the total system power draw during the test starts at about 28 watts, but drops to below 19 watts when the system gets hot. That means the machine does not throttle the GPU at all under the same power draw that causes the CPUs to throttle. Maybe the CPUs are more sensitive to heat, but if you know why, perhaps you can explain to me in the comments below, please. Alright, and moving on, these are the times with the ice brick. You can see that there's barely any slowdown between runs, and it's over 12% faster on average compared to the non-ice brick cooled runs. This ice brick I use still has the sticker on it. It's $7.45 Australian, which currently translates to less than $6 US. It holds 290 mils and it actually lasts over 30 minutes. You can get larger ones that hold more liquid, and they should probably last longer. These ones on screen are from Amazon for $18 for a 3-pack. I'll put an affiliate link in the description if you're interested in them. They have twice the liquid volume of the ones that I tested with. Okay, here's the video summary. Yes, with the right workload, you can speed up your MacBook Air by at least 12% using a $6 ice brick. Alright, this has been a fun video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.